It's starting off to be a great weekend. Nothing makes me happier than landing the big fatties and my Knicks going to the conference finals for the first time in 25 years. Let's get to it.
McBride comes from behind. Hard on the drive, flips it up, and a foul.
Okay, so this weekend getting off to a good start. Rutgers still building their roster. They land a couple fatties, or big fatties, as Ray Lucas likes to say. I just love when we get offensive linemen, especially in the Big Ten. You have to build from the inside out. We've seen over the past few years, especially during the Chris Ash years, how our offensive line was not Big Ten caliber, and it, of course, cost us dearly. The fact that we're adding depth now makes me really happy, and my Knicks get it done. All right, let's get to it. Rutgers lands its first, this is really odd, our first New Jersey commit of the 2026 recruiting class. And that's a South Jersey guy, St. Augustine Prep offensive lineman Cameron Greene. He's staying home. This is kind of odd. You know, we always said we had to put a fence around the state. We got to recruit our top student athletes in New Jersey, which there are many. Many of them wind up leaving state. But this is one that this is the first one of the 2026 class. Joe Alt size, 6'7", 315. Rivals has him as a 3-star. He's from Richland, New Jersey. And it's kind of, this whole, being the first New Jersey recruit for 2026, kind of a surprise. So he joins Donovan Johnson on the offensive line. And he accepted just after 2 days after receiving the offer. His quote was, "It doesn't get any better than Jersey." All right, you got to love that. And he, he was just offered a couple days ago. So this was a quick turnaround. You kind of like to see that the guy's all about it. And Coach Flaherty said, he went to his high school, visited him, said experience is everything. And the reason you come to Rutgers is to play in the Big Ten. And he goes on to say his job as offensive line coach is to teach them technique. And again, experience is always the big get. And so Greene's commitment, 9th of the class. We're around top 35. That seems to be where we've been landing under Greg Schiano too, but we need to execute on the field, take the next step. We can be a better team depth-wise and on paper and play better on the field and still be a 7-6 team, especially with a tougher schedule coming up this season. Nonetheless, he had offers, he had some pretty solid offers. Boston College, Duke, North Carolina, Pitt, Syracuse, Wake Forest, West Virginia, lower level programs. And I watched a little bit of him on video. He's a big boy. He's got a little bit of a nasty streak, which I like. He's not super fluid and doesn't really have quick feet. He's not really fluid in his sets. But there is definitely Big Ten upside. I think he's going to develop into a pretty good add to an offensive line group with a really good coach. But it's new era. Who knows? Year to year, you don't get any playing time. We'll see what happens. Nonetheless, we get another offensive lineman. A fourth offensive lineman via the transfer portal, University of New Haven. Jesus, what are we doing here? Offensive tackle Justin Cesaire. He's 6'4", 310. Is he a guard or is he a tackle? Most of his reps have been at left tackle. He is from Orange, New Jersey. He was a 2-star recruit at a high school. He got offers from UMass, LIU, Monmouth before he enrolled at New Haven. He would go on. He's a multi-year starter, so he's got the experience, mostly at left tackle. And they got to the Northeast 10 Conference Championship. He's got 1 year of eligibility left. So, in addition, at his size, 6'4" and 310, is he going to be a guard? Is he going to be a tackle? Let me backtrack for a second. The Northeast 10 Conference. I mean, I've said this a bunch of times, and I'll probably keep saying it because I'm an OG that remembers when we were playing Bucknell, Lehigh, Colgate, Princeton, NYU. Yes, NYU had a football team. Columbia. If we're going to get athletes from those types of programs, and I've said this a bunch, and I'll keep saying it, we might as well revamp, restructure New Jersey's higher education, and Rutgers College goes back to being a public liberal arts college, playing those kinds of teams, which I wouldn't mind. You have a University of New Jersey State University, but there are some rumors, ear to the ground, that Rutgers will be hiring a new president very soon. And the rumor is we're on track to land a president that's from a current big boy institution athletically. Speculation is it will be either a Big Ten or SEC president. That could change things. I have to say, at least, with athletics, I don't want to become the SEC. It was 30 some odd years ago. We were a top 25 U.S. News kind of university. We kind of slid back. Not happy about schools like Florida that when I was younger back in the day were considered party schools. Now they're better academically than us. I'm not going to go on my rant about that right now. Nonetheless, I thought Jonathan Holloway was pretty good towards athletics. I was very ambivalent about him in the beginning. But however it turns out for him, I wish him with crazy stories about him just having to get away from Rutgers and all the anger and anxiety and dysfunction and the threats on that. I mean, this is crazy. I have to say, I'm going to say this right now. I don't care if it offends anybody. The embarrassment that comes out of Rutgers, not on the athletic fields, although we've had our issues there, just some of the bloviating on the political side and the negative attention drawn to Rutgers is, and some of the political anger that goes beyond free speech, not good. So we wish Jonathan Holloway all the luck. Nonetheless, I did watch some. I watched some tape of Cesaire, and I gotta say, he, it's going to be crowded over. He's got 1 year of eligibility, so it's going to be kind of crowded at left tackle if Tyler Needham stays there. And you got Ryder Langsdale, 1 year of eligibility, and now you have another guy. I mean, I don't know how that's all going to work out, but we absolutely could use the depth. I have to say, he had better footwork, and Justin Cesaire had better, better footwork than Greene. He was more. He got to his sets with a little more fluidity and a little more authority. He was quicker in his sets, and I think maybe he's not as nasty, but he looked like more of a finesse kind of pass blocking left tackle. Don't know what the BFF grades are or anything along those lines, but just thought he was a little more quick, a little more fluid. So we'll see what happens with him. However he's used and however our depth shakes out, wish him well, wish him all the best, and let's get to my go New York, go New York, go New York Knicks for the first time in 25 years. Get to a conference final. They put in work. Congratulations. They beat the Celtics by 38, 119-81. And I owe them an apology because I've been saying all along, they're kind of soft. They don't beat great teams. The loss on Wednesday night was just bad, especially with the loss of Tatum. And I thought that they might throw in a clunker, and they did. And I felt it was typical Knicks. But they came back tonight at home at the Garden. Had the game. Maybe they should have had Wednesday night, but they didn't. So this is actually kind of good. For those of you who are Jet fans and watch Jake Asman, who's also a Knicks fan, he thought that this, despite the bad loss the other night by 25, that this would be a good opportunity for the Knicks to shell out, and they absolutely did. But I'm splitting hairs. I'm really happy about beating a team that I don't particularly like, and many Knicks fans don't. The whole New York-Boston thing is real. Nonetheless, our starters all got it done tonight, all scored in double digits. Yes, Tom Thibodeau teams, they log a lot of minutes. Nonetheless, OG, 23-9-2. MVP, Jalen Brunson, 23-6-6. Mikal Bridges, playing better lately, 22-4-3. Cat, 21-12-1. Harden, you got to have Hard, triple-double, 10-11-11. And McBride off the bench had double digits, 10 points, 2 rebounds and assists. And, I said, look, for the Celtics to win, they have to do what they want to do, and that's shoot, hit their threes. And they did that Wednesday night, and they absolutely, if they're shooting 50%, we lose. Tonight, we shot well enough to win, 46%. Three-point shooting wasn't great at around 34%, but we rebounded. Listen up, Rutgers. We out-rebounded the Celtics 68-41 and played some good D. That's how it's done. Celtics did not have a great shooting night after shooting 50%. Wednesday night, they shot about 35%. They need to shoot around 45 in order to be competitive. They shot 12-for-41 from 3. That was not going to get it done. We are going to the finals, conference finals, for the first time in 25 years. It's been 52 years since I've seen a New York Knicks championship. Let's go. Let's get this done. Everybody, enjoy your weekend. Enjoy Rutgers getting some depth on the offensive line, which we kind of need, and rooting for my New York Knicks. Enjoy your weekend, and we'll see you the next time.